I want to thank Divana Olivas and Alanna Offield for joining us today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And so let's get started. What is the Media Literacy Project?
So the Media Literacy Project is a local nonprofit. We've been around for about 20 years. We really believe that media should build bridges and break down walls. And so we do that several ways through education, programming, grassroots campaigns, and we really want to help folks be able to be critical of their media, deconstruct media, inform media policy, and create media that reflects their lived experience.
Okay. Can you elaborate on the memorial passed at Monday's City Council meeting?
Sure. Do you want to?
Sure, yeah. So the Responsible Speech Memorial is a memorial that was introduced as an affirmation of our values. It really is a memorial to encourage media to practice responsible speech, to be respectful of the communities that they represent, and to be able to encourage people to critically look at the media and recognize the irresponsible speech and to be advocates for responsible speech. And I don't know if you want to say a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of a campaign that we have that's called Siembra la Palabra Digna, so sow the dignified word. Okay. So really thinking about how much media influences the way that we think about certain groups of people in our community, and acknowledging that the language that's used about those groups, if it's misrepresenting them or if it's inaccurate, that can create a culture of misunderstanding and violence. So we had been working on this memorial, and it had seen many, many versions for about 5 years. So we were very happy on Monday to finally have it pass 5-3 at the City Council meeting, and it was sponsored by Ray Garduno. So yeah, we were really happy to have like as much community support as we had. So we're glad we can move on to bigger and better things now.
Okay. When did the memorial project begin?
So about 5 years ago, Media Literacy Project was involved in a campaign to get Lou Dobbs off the air. He had a show on CNN, and a lot of the language that he was using on that show toward migrant communities and Latinos was very inaccurate, misrepresenting, and was creating a culture of violence. And so there's a national effort with a lot of different groups to try and get him off the air, and we were successful in that. And so from there, we sort of started looking at other examples of people in the media that were using irresponsible speech, be it in radio, so some talk radio shows that were using some language specifically towards migrant groups. And we've been able to see that there's a correlation as these shows use more negative language towards these marginalized groups, hate crimes increase along with it. So we saw it as a health problem also, that like the more irresponsible speech that's used in the media, the more stress that's put on communities, and that increases health issues. So we've been doing it for about 5 years, and we'll probably continue it on. And we see it more of a movement than a campaign, so like a way of thinking and talking back to media. So yeah, that's what we've been working on for a long time.
And what's next for you guys?
We have sort of been thinking about several different options. A lot of the work that we do at Media Literacy Project, we go into various spaces, schools, conferences, different partner groups around town, and we lead them through a process where they learn how to deconstruct media. So when we're looking at advertisements or like the mainstream news channels, like who's paying for those advertisements, like who is developing that messaging, who is that messaging catering to, are all the things that they're reporting like fair and accurate about communities. So we lead people through this process, and then they go home and they're able, while they're watching TV or listening to the radio or watching movies or whatever it is, they're able to sort of do that deconstruction process on their own. And so what we'd like to do is sort of do that with the broader community and sort of create kind kind of like a team of media monitors. So like folks that are watching TV and reading the paper and listening to the radio, that when they see irresponsible speech being used, or if they see their community being misrepresented, that they're able to talk back to that, and that they have the tools to deconstruct it, and then, you know, write a letter to the editor, or write into whatever channel it might be, or be able to put something even as simple up on their Facebook, like to their friends or on social media, that like, hey, I saw this commercial and the way it's talking about women or the way it's talking about people of color is not accurate, and like, let's talk back to that. Also encouraging people to create their own media, so maybe doing some sort of like community journalism piece, where if people feel like there's a story in their community that's not being told, that we can help them get access to the tools that they need to tell that story the way that they want. So those are some of the ideas. We haven't really like decided on anything yet. We've been meeting with like our community partners that supported us through getting the memorial passed, and we're just sort of brainstorming with them and thinking about, you know, we have this like really special thing that happened here that hasn't happened in other cities around the country. So like, how do we really use this memorial as kind of a foundation for like broader work?
Okay, all right. Well, that wraps up our interview. Anything else you want to add?
Sure, yeah. We're always looking for volunteers, and as a volunteer coordinator, I did want to say a little something. Just, it's really easy to get involved with our organization. We're always looking for people in the community who want to be a part of this movement, want to get involved with media justice work, want to learn more about media literacy. And so, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was said. In case anyone was interested, you can check out our website. We have a Facebook, and you'll be in contact with me as a volunteer coordinator, and we're always looking for members to join our movement. So yeah, that's all I really had.
Okay.
In addition.
All right. Well, thank you again for joining us here at the Howl.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.